Today we're going to do a simple pivot table. People are really afraid of pivot tables, don't know what they are, don't know how to do it, and they seem so difficult. One person at work who knew how to do pivot tables said one time that if you could do pivot tables, everybody is your friend. That's because most people don't know how to do them. So we're going to use this and we're going to do a pivot table and we're going to count the number of mouse clicks because I don't think it will be more than 7 or 8, somewhere in there. So if I can do a pivot table in 7 or 8 mouse clicks, that's good. That's not that many. Here's what I've got. I've got sales region. So I've got region, and notice we have like north, and I color coded some of these so that you could see. But I have north, north, all of the norths that were here I color coded in yellow. South, south, south I coded in green. East in blue, and west in a sort of ruddy red. So what tells me that I have a pivot table here is that I have repeating regions, north, 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 and each of these regions has a numbers associated with it. One for 2015, one for the sales year 2016. So when I have text that is repeating, it could be salespeople's names, and they repeat it. Every time they make a sale, their name is here and how much the sale was. Text that is repeating says there's a good chance of a pivot table, especially if those texts like south is associated with a number. Each of those associated with a number. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pivot table, and to start out, and I'm going to show you the rest of this data as I go down. I've got a lot of data here. If I click on this and go down to the very end, I've got about 120, so there's 119 lines of data. Go back up to the top. To do a pivot table, the first thing I do is just click anywhere in the table. So that's mouse click number 1. And then when I click on insert, that's mouse click number 2. Mouse click number 3 is I'm going to tell Excel I want to do a pivot table. So here's mouse click number 3. Click. And this brings up this. What this did was look at all of the numbers that are attached to each other. And you've got the little marching ants. This says that Excel has chosen all of my numbers. It hasn't missed any of them. So I just do a little sanity check to make sure everything's in there. And then really from here, I just click OK. There's mouse click number 4. Now, I have this over here, and this starts to look strange. Just go, what do I do with this? Well, I've got region, which is text, and I have sales, which are numbers. A text like a region, if I click on this, it's going to put it in rows. So if I'm going to, or I can drag it. So I know that text is going to be in rows for the beginner, okay? So I can left click on region and drag it down and drop it in rows. And that's about 5 clicks. And notice over here, now I have these row labels, east, north, south, and west. Well, what do I do with my numbers? Well, I want to see my sales for 2015, and those are going to go in values, sum of values, because I want to add those up. What was the total sales for the eastern region? What was the total sales for the north region, south and west? So I can click on sales 2015, hold, drag, and drop in values. The other way I can do this, because a lot of times, and we'll call that, I think, 6 or 7, and here's click on sales 8. A lot of times Excel will put, it knows it's a number, it'll put it in sum of values. Here's my pivot table. I'm done. I have now created a pivot table. I can save this. I can do a lot of different things with it. So there's your basic. I can also, if I wish, I can kind of insert. Let's try that. Insert. Let's try a recommended chart and see what it recommends. And there you go. So I'm just going to click on that and go OK. And now I have a chart. And it shows me my sales for 2015, blue. Sales for 2016, orange. So now I can show this graphically to management. Management likes to see charts. They can look at that and very quickly see what's going on. They can see that sales in 2015, which are red, are all higher than the sales for 2016. So there's some questions to be answered here. So there's your pivot table in about 7 or 8 or so mouse clicks at the worst. Learn how to do this. Repetition is the mother of learning. So the more you repeat this, the more you will learn how to do it. And that's all we have on this.